Okay. So today's chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So he's continuing. Now this is the narration of Sanjaya. If you remember, the scene swiftly moved to Sanjaya when Arjuna was getting the Vishwarupa Darshanam. Immediately Vyasa brought the attention to Sanjaya to say that he is also getting this Vishwarupa Darshanam. So it's not just, so how many of them got actually? When Arjuna got, Sanjaya gets, and because Vyasa is writing this, he obviously has received this. When he is writing this, he has obviously received this darshanam also, Vishwarupa darshanam, which is why he is able to narrate as Sanjaya is narrating. So, yeah, darshanam of Miami. So, now Sanjaya is describing what Arjuna is seeing, which means which he is also seeing, right? So he started off saying in the 10th verse, Aneka Vaktra Nayanam Anekam Adbhutam Darshanam, Aneka Divya Abharanam, Divya Aneka Ayudha Yudham. And then Divya Malya Ambaradharam, Divya Gandha Anulepanam, Sarva Ascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So he is seeing this brilliant vision. Aneka Vaktram, Aneka Nayanam, Adbhutam Darshanam. So he's seeing Aneka Vaktram is many faces, many mouths, many eyes. Aneka Divya Abharanam, many infinite Abharana or ornaments. And Aneka Udyata Ayudham, all the seeing a lot of weapons that are carried. It's not rested, but those weapons are carried. If it's a bow, it's like that. If it's a sword, it's held like that. So many weapons that are also seen. And Divya Malya Ambaradharam. So there are many divine garlands. Divya Mala. And Ambaradharam, the garland that and the garment that he is wearing is of the Ambaram, the space. Space is the garment that this form is wearing. And Divya Gandhanu Lepanam, it is anointed with Divya Gandha, all the fragrant anointments or whatever. So there are a lot of so basically he's experiencing fragrance in the air. He's experiencing fragrance. Sarva Ascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So this Deva that he's seeing, so he's calling this as a Deva. Sanjaya is referring to this as a Devata. Some form which Sanjaya has not read, seen, heard anywhere before. See, even if you talk about Sahasra Shirsha, Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat, if this form really, as it is described, appears, we will not know what to call this. Because this form is something that you can't visualize really in many ways. Although the Vishwarupa Darshanam is the closest representation of that. Okay. And remember, we spoke about this. When we went to Kurukshetra also, we saw this big statue of the Vishwarupa Darshanam standing there. But imagine that is not just in the front of Arjuna. See, although the only way you can depict this is in the front, you have to get to some kind of a 3D representation to see it all around. Because you must imagine Arjuna is actually having this Vishwarupa Darshanam all around him. You can't just say it is on the front, right? Apana, you see the left side, is it not there? On the right side, it's not there. And suddenly if he's turning behind, it's not there. It's not like that. He is seeing this, having this vision all around. Wherever he is seeing, he's seeing the form, the mouths, the heads, the hands, all of this he's seeing all around him. And this particular form, he is seeing, he's starting with saying it's a Devata. And when he's ending with Shloka, he is calling it as an Ugra form. Right? So here he is, at first he is seeing a form which is almost infinite in its appearance, because it doesn't seem to have a start or an end. Anantam. Na adi na antam na madhyam. The next one will describe that. So he's seeing Vishwato Mukham, so which means all, so many mouths, and he is seeing the face of the Lord everywhere. And what is interesting here, you need to note, he's saying Divya Gandha Anulepanam. How is, forget Arjuna, maybe Arjuna is there and he is experiencing smell. Um, how is Sanjaya also experiencing smell? Sanjaya is describing this, right? So when you are given Divya Drishti, it doesn't mean just Divya Drishti. He is also given Divya, the power of Grahana, which is smell, the power of hearing, which is Shrotram. All the Pancha Indriyas, he's been given the ability to experience through these five Indriyas greater than what can be experienced for normally for everybody, right? Which is what it means by Divya Drishti, because it's a question that can be asked, right? He is given him Divya Drishti only. Suddenly, how is Sanjaya smelling Gandha? And how is he listening to all these conversations? Drishtina, it is like a movie which just muted. You can't listen to anything, right? It's not just Divya Drishti. So it is Divya Pancha Jnanendriyas. All the Pancha Jnanendriyas have been given an ability to experience beyond the constraints of what a normal human being can experience. Like, for example, we can experience auditory, our levels are 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz is the ability for us to listen to sound. We can't listen to sounds which are lesser than 20 hertz nor greater than 20,000 hertz, right? Because we are limited in this range. Likewise, our visual apparatus can only see the Vibgyor colors, right? Violet to red, the frequency, that is the frequency that we can see. So similarly, different aspects of our indriyas, the different Twak Indriya, Grana Indriya, and the taste also, Rasendriya, all of these indriyas they have a limitation to what they can experience. Beyond a certain level, they can't experience. You will not be able to experience it. Now, here, Sanjay has been given Divya Jnanendriya. This is what we need to remember, right? By saying Divya Drishti, he is given Divya Jnanendriyas. And he is experiencing taste, smell, listening, everything. He is experiencing all of this at a divine scale, at a much more expanded experience. It's called a much more expanded perception he is having. So then he is trying to explain this to Dhritarashtra. And then he goes on to say, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yugapat Uttitha. Which means as though simultaneously Sahasra Surya in the sky, during the day sky, 1,000 suns have risen simultaneously. Yadibha Sadrishi Sa, in that form, that kind of light, Syat Bhasastasya Mahatmana. This from this Mahatman, from this great form, from this great personality, so much of light is coming out as though 1,000 suns have been, 1,000 suns have risen in the sky. So now if really 1,000 suns rise in the sky, can our body take it? Right? We can't. So if Arjuna is experiencing 1,000 suns, now same thing with Sanjaya also, he's experiencing 1,000 suns rising. One is the brightness and also experiencing the sun. Right? Here, when it touches 50 and all itself, it's very hot for us we can't manage that kind of heat. But he is managing, or he is experiencing the heat of 1,000 suns. But the experience here is not the heat. The experience is of light, and there is a warmth which is not like if each sun you experience 50 degrees temperature, it's not 50 into 1,000, 50,000 degrees centigrade. No. That is not the experience. The experience is of warmth, which is the brightness of the sun is so bright, yet it doesn't burn you. Right? This I have read even mentions made by Paramahamsa Yogananda in his works. He says there is this bright light which is extremely bright. It's which means you can't see anything beyond that light, yet, and that light is so bright, yet it is not hot. This is called Jyotihi. This is called the light, which comes from within. But here, Bhagavan Krishna is giving him an experience on the outside also, because with his eyes, he is able to, with this physical eyes, which has been now given the ability to see the Divya Amsha, he is able to experience that kind of brightness. So, Kannu Kusar, of course, he'll get to say that Kannu Kusar, right? It's so bright, I'm not able to see it, but yet he's experiencing as though 1,000 suns have come into the sky. And 1,000, always remember, it is a representation of a very large number. It is a representation of innumerous, or rather numerous. It's a representation of innumerable. When we say Sahasra Shirsha, it doesn't mean 1,000 heads, right? It means innumerable heads, innumerable eyes. And many, many, many suns have risen. That is the experience Arjuna is having. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapada Uttitha Yadi Bha Sadrishi Sa Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. This Mahatman, from his form, so much of light is coming through. And then he is explaining Tatraikastham Jagat Kritsnam Pravibhaktam Anekadha Apashya Devadevasya Sharire Pandavastada. So there Arjuna is experiencing the complete Jagat, the entire Jagat, Jagat Kritsnam. The entire Jagat is experienced in Arjuna's perception, in his perception, which means there is nothing that is left in the universe, or there is nothing in this universe that is not there in this form. Which is what is Arjuna's experience. His experience is he is seeing this form, this grand form, and then his mind is also thinking there's probably nothing else in this world that is, or there is nothing that is outside of this. Right? And this is an experience he's having. He may now, the important thing is the fulfillment of this experience is important. What is the world? The world is what you know of your world is the world. What is the universe? What you know of the universe is the universe. You may not know a million things, but you know a million things. Now, those million things are your world, your experience, your universe. When you see all the million things that you know of in one place, then for you, the whole universe is there. Right? So he is seeing all of that. He is seeing all of that. Tatra ekastham, established in one place. Jagat Kritsnam, the entire universe, Pravibhaktam Anekadha. He is seeing that whole entire universe broken, or he is seeing it separately, all the component parts of whatever he experiences as the universe. And Apashya Deva Devasya, he could see the God of God, Sharire Pandavastada. This Pandava or Arjuna is able to see that in this form of the Lord. Then he goes on to say, Tatassa Vismaya Vishtaha. So he's full of wonder now. Who? Arjuna is full of wonder. And Hrishta Roma Dhananjaya, his hair is standing on end. Which means his hair, so he is having that experience of astonishment, wonder, and at the same time, he is his Roma Harsha, which means his whole Roma is Harshita. It's completely um, uh, I think Pullarikirda is like a very beautiful word. I don't know. There's no equivalent word to that. Hair standing on end is a long statement, but the experience is of having goosebumps. Goosebumps is the word, right? It's looking for goosebumps. So he's having literally having goosebumps of seeing this form, and he's speechless, right? You're having, imagine you're seeing this, what will be our situation? மூச்சு பேச்சு இல்லாம வாய், there'll be nothing to say, nothing to, absolutely stunned. The experience of being stunned. Vismayam, that is the word he's using. Vismayam avishtaha. He is completely full of this wonder that he's experiencing. Roma Hrishta, Hrishta Roma Dhananjaya. On this Dhananjaya or Pandava's, Arjuna's body, all his hair is standing on end. Pranamya Shirasa Devam. And what else can he do? He just bows down in complete surrender and gratitude. Pranamya Shirasa Devam. His head is bowed down. Krita Anjali Anjalihi Abhashata. And then now he goes to speak. Because during this period, the experience that he is having is completely of being in a state of amazement and wonder. And this is probably going on for a little while. Okay, because this Vyasa's narration, as Sanjaya is saying it, but we don't know how long it lasted. Right? We have no idea how long it lasted in Arjuna's experience. He would have gone into a state of samadhi, complete dissolution of the individual self. He would have gone, and then suddenly he would have come out of that state of awe, and then he would have recognized I am an individual, and then he is probably trying to attempt to speak. The attempt to speak can happen only after you recognize that you exist. Okay. See, which is why you notice what Arjuna's experience is. Sanjaya is explaining, probably Arjuna would have gone into a state of samadhi. வாய் அடைச்சு போயிருப்பான் அப்படியே ஒண்ணு. That is one. He would have gone dumbfounded. But within him, he would have gone silent. And the recognition of the individual self would have been lost for a period of time. Only when that happens, you become completely, which is why stunning or going into a state of wonder is usually used as a method also to go into a deeper state of or a state of samadhi. Because when the mind turns off, your mind should turn off. Saptanadi adangi porudhu. Yeah. So that the whole experience is now that the mind has become silent. The mind is not thinking. When the mind is not thinking, then, and you're awake. The mind is not thinking and you're experiencing, there is an awareness of experience, and the mind is not thinking, you are in a state of samadhi. And when this happens, you don't want to say anything. You don't feel like saying anything, which is why you notice many times when you come out of a very deep meditation, you won't feel like speaking. Right? You just want to keep silent with yourself. In fact, it is said, even when you have some kind of divine experience also, it is said, don't immediately go and share. with anybody. It happens within you. Suppose it happens in a dream, right? Suppose some kind of a very profound experience happens in a dream. Something happens. Ambal Vanda, Krishnar Vandar, Guru Vanda, somebody came, some experience happened, a very profound experience. When you wake up, go and sit at the altar. Don't immediately speak it out, because what needs to happen is that experience needs to get established in your consciousness. It needs to establish well. So sit with that experience, close your eyes, and let it, you don't have to process it, but let it establish. Let that experience establish within you before you start speaking about it or sharing or whatever. So the silence that accompanies a very deep meditation or a profound experience, the silence that accompanies it is the natural state of that experience is trying to give you. We should not disregard it. We should not disregard the silence that accompanies such profound experiences. We should not shake it off immediately. We should let it settle in, because this is the silence that you are always seeking. Paraganam, like Nochur Swami will say, Paraganam, you have to habitually establish that. Whenever an experience happens like that, sit with it. Everybody has these experiences. If you are able to, you practice and you're able to stay within yourself and touch that, everybody will have some form of the experience or the other. But stay with it. If you stay, then you're getting into the habit of staying in that silence. And then if you feel like sharing, speaking, talking about it, then do. Otherwise, don't. Right? So this is very important. Whenever such a profound experience hits us, or you'll also feel a silence inside your ears. There may be noise outside also, but there'll be a very gum of the silence. Let that silence seep in. Let it go in, because this is what that experience is trying to give you. The experience is not trying to come and tell you, oh, my Guru is there, oh, Bhagavan is there, Ambal is there, Shiva is there. That is not the point. The subsequent, again, same thing with meditation. When you're in meditation, completely silent, then there is a silence that accompanies it. Retain it for a little while. Let anybody say anything. Let it sink in, because that is the uddeshya of the particular action, activity, or the experience is the silence. The silence is not a byproduct. The intention of that which happens is the silence. The silence is the outcome that we are desiring. So let us hold on to that when this happens. So now Arjuna is experiencing this. Now he is about to speak. And he's gone through this. He's been in this silence. He's experienced profoundness within him. And he's awestruck looking at this grand form. And then when he's recognized, when he is now realizing his individual self, na irukken appadina, when I am there, I am here, when that experience of I, as this I, individual I comes, then he realizes, whoa, what is this? And then he bows down, Shirasam, right? So then he does a pranamam. He does a pranamya shirasa devam. At the looking at the deva, he does a pranam, and krita anjalir abhashata. He then speaks. He starts to speak. What does he say? Then goes Arjuna vacha pashyami devamstava pashyami devamstava devadehe sarvams tatha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanam isham kamalasanastham rishinscha sarvan uragamscha divyan. So now he is starting to explain what he is seeing. He's saying that now, oh Bhagavan, I can see in your body, all the gods, Devan, Tava Deva. Oh Bhagavan, in your body, I can see tava deva dehe. In your pashyami tava dehe, devan, I am able to see all the devaha. And sarvams tatha bhuta vishesha sanghan. And all the different beings, the normal beings, the hosts of different beings, I'm able to see. Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. And then Brahmanam Isham. I'm able to see Brahma. I'm able to see Shiva. Kamala Asanastham, seated on a lotus flower. Rishinscha Uragan Cha Divyan. I'm able to see flowers, these lotus flowers. I'm able to see sages, rishis, and serpents. Because yogis are usually associated with serpents. Naga. Yogis are associated with serpents because serpents are a form of showing energy. So when you see energy moving, it will look like serpents. Right? So he is seeing energy moving. He's seeing moving of energy which looks like serpents around this form. Uragamscha Divyan. And then Arjuna continues to say, Aneka Bahu Udara Vaktra Netram. I'm saying Aneka Bahu, which means arms. I'm seeing Aneka Udara, stomachs or torsos. I'm able to see Aneka faces and Aneka eyes. Okay, so his movement is going from below to up, right? So he's seeing his arms, the arms of that form besides the body. So he's seeing the arms, he's seeing the stomach area, torso. He's then seeing the faces, Bhaktra, and then he's seeing the netra, the eyes. He's seeing all of this. Pashyami tvam sarvato ananta rupam. In all directions, sarvataha ananta rupam. In all directions. See, this is important. Okay? He is not just seeing him in the front. He is seeing him all around. 360-degree view. This is also an aspect of the Divya Drishti. We need a rear view mirror to see what is behind. So he could see behind without a rear view mirror. His drishti could actually perceive 360 degrees. Okay, now it's difficult for us to visualize that, but it is just as much as right now your vision is this much, right? So I can see till here and I can see till here. Just to visualize that the eyes can also move behind and see what is behind, and you get a full 360 view. That is something that it's hard to imagine because it's difficult for us to experience that. But the experience, but we can visualize this if you are actually looking around. When you start looking around, all around you, and you see something, you will say, oh my God, it's all 360. I can experience 360, right? Na antam, na antam, na madhyam, na punaha tava adim, which means you have no antam, no madhyam, no adi. Why is he starting off with saying antam? Because when he is experiencing this Bhagavan, he's saying, na antam, I am not able to see the end to this whole cosmic form. And I'm not able to see which is the madhya, because in a circle, how do you say which is the center? Or in a spherical substance? Everything, wherever you hold is a center, right? Wherever you hold, you say from there, everything seems to be spreading from there. From here, you see everything seems to be spreading from here. So which do you call as madhya? When you are saying there is no madhya or no center or no middle, it means wherever you go, that seems to be the middle. Why? Because there is no anta, there is no end to this. And then he's saying the no adi. Because I'm not able to see any end, I'm not able to also see where it is beginning. Nantam namadhyam na punastava adim Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. I am able to see this universal form of yours, O Bhagavan. And then he goes, Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam cha. Then he is talking about the now. So now we don't know what kind of form he was visualizing. Now he is starting to describe the different aspects of that form. Kiritinam, crown, Gadinam, Chakrinam. He's got a gada and a chakra. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Deeptim Antam is shining in all directions. Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantad. It's hard to look at you. Why? Because you're like 1,000 suns. Surya Sahasrasya. So I'm not able to Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham. I'm not able to see this blazing fire of this Deeptimantam. And then Deepta Anala Arka Dyutim Aprameyam. It is as though it is like a sun that is radiating in all directions. This Surya Bhagavan in 1,000 forms is coming and radiating in all directions. Tvamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Tvam Avyaya Shashvata Dharmagopta Sanatanastvam Purusho Mato Me. So this particular form that I am seeing is imperishable, O Bhagavan. It is the ultimate truth. Paramam Veditavyam. It is something that everybody should know of. Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. This is the support or the dharma of all that is existing. Tvam Avyaya Shashvata Dharma Gopta. You're also the holder or the sustainer of all this dharma. Sanatanas Tvam Purusho Mato Me. And from you only this whole Sanatana Dharma also emanates. That is Arjuna's experience. And then he goes on to say, Anadi Madhyantam Anantaviryam Anantabahum Shashisurya Netram Pashyami Tvam Deepta Hutashavakram Swatejasa Vishwam Idam Tapantam. So all of this, everything is shining forth from you. It's blazing like fire, everything that is coming from this form. And Dyau A Prithivyo Idam Antaram Hi Vyaptam Tva Ekena Dishascha Sarvaha. Seeing this one form everywhere. Drištva Adbhutam Rupam Ugram. He's seeing this Ugra form. It's amazing, absolutely divine, yet it is very, very, it's blazing, it's fiery, and it's an Ugra form, a terrible form, Tavedam. Lokatrayam Pravyatitham Mahatman. And this whole form is making all the worlds tremble and fear. There is nothing that doesn't burn or completely get annihilated in this form, and this is a divine yet a terrible form. So this is the experience Arjuna is having right now. He's looking at this Divya Darshanam, which is absolutely grand, absolutely brilliant. His hair is standing on end, and everything he's seeing around him is this form only. He's not able to see anything else besides this. There's the only thing that is experiencing, but then he's experiencing complete. He's also seeing the wrath of it, the terrible nature of this particular form. So this is the Divya Rupa Darshanam he is having today. We will continue next week. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayati Samarpayami Sadashivayati Samarpayami Jagadambikayati Samarpayami Sadgurunathaya Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha.